Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having an amazing week so far. I wanted to jump in here and share one of the most powerful realizations or powerful conversations that I had this past weekend when I was hosting the Flowvember Masterclass. Now, for those of you that were there, you know that we talked a lot about being in the receiving, allowing, being in that space that really creates magic for our lives. And we also talked a lot about what to do in those moments when life is challenging and you're overwhelmed and there are all these things that are happening at once, lots of emotions coming up at the moment. And I know a lot of us are dealing with some challenging stuff. The energy at the moment is quite challenging. There is a lot of energy kind of coming at us, a lot of things bubbling up from inside of us. And so the idea of being in flow or finding flow again is a bit foreign for a lot of people. But if you can remember this key component of flow and do your best to take care of yourself, self-care, energy care, doing the things that really serve you and soothe you as you move forward, it's going to benefit you in so many ways. And that one statement that came up, I don't actually think it came up in the actual recording that I did. I think it came up in the conversation that we had after I stopped recording. And that was that flow is not dependent on conditions. Flow isn't about the conditions of your life. And if you know anything about manifesting, I talk a lot about the beliefs that you have and your energy and all of that. It really isn't, it's separate from the conditions if you can allow it to be so. And what that means is that you can't wait for those moments to be perfect in order to welcome flow. That flow doesn't necessarily have to only come in those few and far between moments when things are working out for you. You actually have more control than you realize. And your control comes from what you do when things seem to not be working out, when things are hard, when emotionally you feel drained or overwhelmed. And the reason, again, that I'm talking about this right now is because so many people at this present time at the moment are dealing with so many things energetically. Like I said, it's a very dense and intense energy, and we are processing in the best way that we can. Some of us are resisting, which is not necessarily the best plan, but we're doing what we can to deal with it, and we're waiting and praying and really hoping that flow will return. But we have to get ourselves into that place to receive that flow. So the best ways to do that when you're in this place, in this transition place, is to allow the moment to be what it is. Allow the feelings to be what they are. Allow them to come up, because when you resist them, they get bigger, okay? So allow it to be what it is, and then make a small conscious choice and a conscious effort to do something, focus on something, see something, listen to something, that will allow you to feel even just a little bit better. And 9 times out of 10, and this is a really important thing, 9 times out of 10, it's actually not connected to the thing that you feel out of flow with. So if you're feeling disconnected financially or in your relationship, that little action probably has nothing to do with the relationship or the money or your business or whatever other area is coming up. It generally is a bit more general than that. It can be as simple as getting a drink of water. It can be as simple as taking a walk around the block, picking up the phone to call someone, turning on some music, listening to a meditation, journaling a little bit, right? So it doesn't have to be this massive action, but you really want to allow what's coming up to come up for you, and then allow it to process a little bit, allow it to move through you, and then make a conscious effort to do something in a very general sense that will support you, that will feel a little bit better for you. And I promise you will start leaning closer and closer to true flow very quickly. It doesn't take a lot of time, okay? So remember that, your flow isn't flow, happiness, allowing, high vibe, space, high energy, whatever you want to call it, isn't tied to conditions. Don't allow your happiness, your joy, your flow, your alignment to be tied to the conditions that are happening around you. When you do that, you are not in control at all. So disconnect those two. Allow what's happening to be happening, and then maintain that level of space and creative force and alignment within. I promise it's going to make all the difference. And of course, as always, mindset is a huge part of this. So managing your emotions, managing your mindset, being really aware of what thoughts you're thinking and where that's coming from. Because 9 times out of 10, it's coming from a past, potentially untrue situation. And you have the power to choose again. You have a power to choose and to change those thoughts that will in turn change your reality. So I just thought I would share this, call it your Wednesday wisdom, if you will. Just some really, good concrete information that I hope will be helpful as you find your way forward this week. Okay. If you have questions about that, feel free to send them my way. I would love to answer those for you. Also, of course, I am looking at my calendar through the end of the year, and I have a few one-on-one spots available for additional support for those of you who are in need. So if you've been thinking about processing through some of the things that have been coming up, if you need support, if you have questions about mindset, any of that, feel free to reach out to me. Okay. Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday so far, and I will chat with you soon.